Coach, I'm curious. So, a tough loss like Creighton, like the other day at the Garden against a really good Marquette team, or a Seton Hall game where you guys get knocked around. What's easier to coach off of in terms of inspiring and teaching the kids?
Well, the Seton Hall game was an aberration. It should never happen. Look, we got some bad breaks. I'm not one to ever talk about officiating. We got some bad breaks in both losses. Sometimes the breaks go your way with the whistle, sometimes they go against you. The foul situation with RJ underneath was not a foul, and in the Creighton game, obviously they blew the last call. And when you go through all the parts of the game, the referee's whistle, you can't count on it to work for you or against you, so you got to determine certain things by the fundamentals of the game, and blocking out, challenging shots, and taking good shots. So at the end of the game, Chris Ledlam had a great shot in the corner. The fact that we got a great shot with DJ with 4 seconds to go in the game was great because they executed the pass inbound to the five-man who they weren't going to cover, and then the baseball pass to DJ. Everything worked well. So I don't look at the Seton Hall game. That was very disappointing, uncharacteristic of our ball club. We've lost 3 in a row. Somebody said, well, are you getting down about? Well, you could win 5 in a row sometimes, depending on your schedule of who you're playing, who you're not playing. You know, I was at Providence my first year. I lost 7 games in a row.
Did they want to fire you?
7. No, it was my first year.
I'm teasing.
It was my first
7.
year.
Ooh.
7 in a row.
It must have been tough to be around.
Yeah, but you know, we were building something special.
Yeah.
And I don't want to mention this, but we went to the Final Four next year.
I think we know that. Absolutely, I get you.
So my point being is, you can't get too high, you can't get too low. I've been in this business such a long time. The crowds have been small at the Garden, but they've been awesome. Loud. If there's 10,000 people in the house, it feels like it's 25,000. So I'm very thankful for that.
I know you don't lean on excuses, but do you even, I know they do this in the NBA, you might, send a letter or an inquiry to the league office. Do you even follow up and say, hey, here's the film, you missed this? How does that even work in college?
Listen, I've refereed so many times at basketball camps. It's a difficult thing to referee. In a pro game, it's a lot easier because there's so many possessions, nobody pays attention to one possession. But in college basketball, one possession can determine whether you win or lose.
The Creighton game, you were asked about moral victories, and that's not what we're here for. I'm not saying, I don't even know if you used the term moral victory the other day against Marquette, but you positioned the tight loss very differently. Why the difference?
Because we came back in the game and we executed everything to perfection. We came back executing our pressure. We came back with executing the last play of the game perfectly. So I was happy. We lost. Remember now, the best foul shooter shooting 90-something% missed.
They missed all 3. I know, a 3. That's right.
Yeah. So, look, we certain breaks go your way. It's not going our way right now. We got to make our own breaks as we move forward. But I think we're getting better. I think we're improving. I've said this from day one. We're not a great basketball team. We aspire to be great. I think it's a collection of good players who, if good, sometimes can be the enemy of great in that best-selling book. So what we're trying to get to greatness, and we haven't achieved it yet.
And by the way, just for those who might not unpack the quote or the meaning, too many people almost become enthralled with good and they stop pursuing great. That's what you mean by that, right?
No question, and that's what the book is all about. Great companies, if it's not broken, they break the mold and they make it better. You don't sit back and say, oh, we're winning, we don't have to break anything. No, you constantly have to break things and make them better, and that's what we're trying to do. We haven't achieved it yet. And look, Joel Soriano right now, and I talked to him about it, he's in a little, not a slump, he's in a little bit of a lull in terms of the way he's playing. He'll come out of it, and then somebody else will get in a lull, and they'll come out of it. It's the nature of a season. You're not going to play great every single night. You got to find ways to alter your game. If they're taking away, they're double teaming you, they're triple teaming you, you got to do different things to get active.
I was going to go to Soriano. You went out of your way after the Marquette game to, I don't want to say fully absolve him, but hey, there's other guys that you need to start looking at. Do you feel like he's getting too much heat?
I think Joel is a good player. I think DJ's a good player. Ludlam's a good player. Dingle's a good player. Brady's they're all good players. MJ's not walking through that door. Bird is not walking through that door.
That's the old Mikhail Paris, the old Celtics.
So my point being that, we don't have a great player that he should be pointed out by not doing certain things. Now, should he offensive rebound better? Should he screen better? Should he block shots better? Yes. but he's not the reason we're losing.
I agree with that. But the critic would push back and say, all right, I tell my kids it's control what you can control. You can't control everything. You can control, whether it's Joel or anybody, not to pick on him at all because I love him, how hard you go through a screen, how hard you go to the window, how hard you get back on defense. You're okay with this full effort?
He's got to block shots more.
Okay.
He's got to go to the offensive glass more. He's got to screen better. He's got to run better. So if he's being double teamed in the low post, so beat him down the court and score easy baskets. Beat him down the court. Set a good screen and pop back. Do different things. You know, Bernard King, I was the assistant coach, and he was leading the league in scoring.
Yeah.
He had a way, no matter if they double teamed him, triple teamed, he always got the ball. If you didn't throw it to Bernard, you were going to hear about it.
Yeah.
Because he posted up.
Yes.
So post up like Bernard King and you'll get the ball.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. We're bouncing around. That's why I love doing this with you. You mentioned Bernard King before. I think he's the most, you can make a case that he might be the most unstoppable offensive. Like, for a single possession, Bird couldn't hang with him, obviously. Like, how was that guy's number not retired at the Garden? How is that possible? You coached the Knicks,
Probably
you know
didn't play enough games, and they talk about Carmelo Anthony should be retired. I think without question Bernard King's one of the all-time great Knicks. Unstoppable force. I never forget UB Brown sitting next to him because back then only one assistant.
Oh, wow.
And Bernard is leading the league in scoring. I think it was 33 a game.
Yep.
And Bird comes down and says, "UB, you better get somebody else on me. These guys can't guard me." And I said, "Why don't you try guarding Bernard?" And UB grabbed me and said, "Don't talk to him like that. He's going to kill us now." And he goes down and makes 2 threes and looks at the bench, and UB hits me. "Don't ever say anything to him."
He was an absolute killer.
You know, Bird was such a great basketball player. People don't realize it today because he's legit 6'10", shoots it awesome, passes awesome, tougher than nails.
Yeah.
He was just a great basketball. There was a golden era.
It's my favorite. I mean, Dominique, obviously Jordan Young, Isaiah, Dom. We could just do this
Showtime.
all day. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Up and down. Even the ancillary pieces, Byron Scott, Michael Cooper. I mean, that was great basketball. All right, we're going to let you go here. So, what's the message? This is your show. This is certainly your segment. You look to the fans. What are you telling St. John's fans right now, Coach?
I just think, look, by the time the Big East tournament comes around, I want to have a chance, and I want to make a realistic message to my team. We can win this thing, the Big East tournament.
Oh, yeah,
we can win that. And that's going to take some time, some improvement. We are not the best defensive team, especially in the last game against Marquette. They scored like 18 out of 22 times down the floor. So we just got to get better defensively, keep improving, keep getting better, improve the parts, improve the whole, and get ready for the Big East tournament.
Sounds good to us. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Good to have you back healthy, man. There he is, Rick Pitino, of course, head coach of St. John's. Quick timeout. Red Store Report rolls on next.